Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered. Good afternoon, everybody. It is January 22nd, 2024, and I'm Adriana, your host of Negotiating Happiness. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And if you want to sit back and watch some TV, a lot of our shows are on Roku TV as well. Just look for UFO Paranormal Channel. Today, I am here with my friend, colleague, entrepreneur, overall amazing person, Kate Ross. We will be tuning into her business. We will be talking about logos and branding strategy. I know this is such a big topic right now, with all the different trends that are happening. So I can't wait to dive in. So grab your coffee, grab your lunch, and let's hear from Kate. I just want to say hello before we do a bio here. Hello, Kate.
Hi, Adriana. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for coming. I feel like you have so much to share with the world, and we can learn from you so much, right? So thank you.
Good.
So, who is Kate? She is a graphic and web designer, provisional RGD at Sunrise Creative. And like I mentioned before, we'll cover branding and logo misconceptions for a website. And Kate will be clarifying the distinctions between logos, branding, and brand strategy. The conversation will delve into the appeal of travel, the freelance lifestyle, motivations for entrepreneurship, and escaping the 9 to 5 routine. Because, I mean, who doesn't want to escape the 9 to 5 routine, right? Kate will also share insights into the intersection of entrepreneurship and mental health, making for a dynamic discussion on a range of engaging topics. So, who is Kate? Kate Ross, a seasoned graphic and web designer with over 10 years of experience, holds an advanced diploma in graphic design from Mohawk College and a digital media skills certificate from OCAD University in Toronto. And for all of our American friends or European friends, that is in Canada. As the founder of Sunrise Creative, her own design studio for the past 8 years, Kate specializes in enhancing the branding and marketing efforts of small businesses across platforms. With a client portfolio that includes World Youth Alliance, Keller Williams Realty, Mohawk College, and much more, Kate's expertise extends to local and international institutions alike. As a registered graphic designer, or a provisional RGD, she remains at the forefront of design practices, consumer trends, and advanced technologies, ensuring her clients receive cutting-edge solutions. And Kate is also a member of the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, Fempreneurs Networking Group, and Women Connecting Women. And she's volunteered in many organizations within the city and is an active member of the community. And that is in Hamilton, Ontario, in Canada. So, I mean, already this is so impressive, Kate. I can't wait to see what else you're going to blow our minds with here.
Thank you so
So,
much for.
Kate, no problem. How about we start with the story of how you created Sunrise Creative? I love hearing how the entrepreneurship spark started.
Yeah, totally. It's a great question. Honestly, it's a continuous journey. um, I guess at some level, even as a kid, I knew I wanted to run my own business. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. Both of my parents run their businesses. My uncle ran multiple businesses. My cousins do that too. I just didn't know what and where and how. Like, I had a previous background. I studied political science for a while. That gives me great analytical skills now, but had nothing to do with graphic design in the beginning. And eventually, when I moved to Canada, I discovered that I want to pursue graphic design and web design. And that will be a great freelance career for me, which will actually ultimately help me launch my own business.
It's
So,
it's
yeah.
funny. It's funny how I have a very similar story. It's funny how people start off in a subject and then end up in a completely different subject, right? But then they seem to kind of help, right? And they seem to kind of make it work for you. It's interesting how entrepreneurship can be, from anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you mentioned that when you came to Canada, when was that, Kate?
Oh, that's a good question. 12 years ago, 12 and a half now. Yeah, it's
Okay.
been a while.
And
And
where did you come
yeah,
from?
I'm originally Polish, so Europe.
From Poland. Ah, love it. I love it. Actually, I just booked my trip back to Europe, and Poland was on the list, but I didn't have enough time. So you got to tell me. We got to connect after, and you got to tell me all the good spots to go.
Totally. Yeah, I'm from
Yeah.
Krakow, so you definitely need to go there.
Oh yeah, yeah. When was the last time you went back?
Last year, actually, finally, I went after pandemic. So yeah, last year in April, I went for a visit and see my family and traveled to Portugal as well, which was my huge bucket list. And I'm so happy we can travel again freely. So
I
yeah,
know. And honestly, Portugal, such a beautiful country too. I loved Portugal, even though I only saw a small fraction of it. Where did you go in Portugal?
very small, just Lisbon and around Fatima and all that. But I definitely need to go back and see more.
Yeah. Did you find that um, the the setup of Lisbon was weird? I'll let you know what I mean. Like I felt like I was in medieval, like really old part. Then all of a sudden we were in like a residential, very typical like European part, and all of a sudden it looked like Toronto. I don't know if you found that. I feel like Lisbon had like everything there.
Yeah, it has a great mix of different cultures too. That was different for me from having traveled Europe my entire childhood. That was very different to actually experience. So that was
Yeah.
really cool to see. But yeah, there is a good clash between modern and old, and yeah, I really
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, tell us a bit about from the entrepreneur side. What do you do to plan for the year? So now that we're still in January, I feel like everybody's still kind of in the planning stages. So as somebody who has a web graphic design business, how do you approach that? Give us some juicy secrets here.
Juicy secret. Well, one of the biggest secrets: hire a good business coach.
I mean, yes. That
Please
makes
do.
sense to me.
Yeah, entrepreneurship's just like it's similar to like being an athlete, right? You have to plan for growth, you have to plan for stamina, you have to plan for long term, which is really hard when we're so busy all the time, so busy and day in day out. It gets challenging. So having that person to support you and see the bigger picture and objectively see the bigger picture too is really helpful. So yeah, usually every December I try and take a week off in between the holidays, and that is my time to think, to relax, to unplug, to not work on client work, and prepare for the next year. Set some goals. Of course, financial goals are a big part of that, but also holistic life goals in general. For health, for attitude, for play, for work, for relationships, all of that, and all has to align. It's a very much of a lifestyle, not a job. So I think it's important to look at all the areas of life to actually be successfully growing the business or just maintaining the business. There's seasons for both, right?
I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of us, when we talk about planning, we only think about business. But I made that mistake last year, and it's not that I didn't know it; it was an oversight. And what happened was I didn't take any time off in December, and it was actually super stressful, and I was really close to burnout because I didn't take into account the other parts of my life that kind of go into it. So I'm really glad that you're saying that. Confirm it for me, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And just like you, I found it out the hard way too. I went through burnout at least 2, 3 times, either in previous employment or in business already. And I don't want
Right.
to repeat that cycle anymore. So, yeah, it's very important for me to actually take care of me first now, because at the end of the day, it's my business. So if I can't do it, then who is? There's no business, right? So, of course,
Right.
unless you have big agencies, big employees, big everything, then yes, maybe somebody can pick up the slack. But in small businesses, it's usually not a reality. So it's important to plan
Right.
early.
Right. Yeah. And how do you go about that? Do you just kind of work with your calendar? Do you plug everything in first, or how do you decide what's appropriate for you?
Very much by the feeling and intuition, to be honest, very feminine way. I try and figure out what worked last year. So I always look in the past, what worked last year, what worked previous years, and then what didn't work.
Yeah.
Just, by going by the Pareto rule, right? 80/20. Just pick out the 20% that worked and keep repeating it.
Yeah.
And then see if you want to add on another thing or two or three to test, right? Don't add on 100 new things. You just won't have time to do it all.
Right.
Um, yeah. So last year, for example, my goals were actually not very business oriented. I was still recovering from burnout. So I actually, health was most important. Attitude was most important to me. Play and creativity was very important to me because I'm a graphic designer. So if I don't have the creative juices flowing, I actually can't do my work. So I need to refuel that, right? And work was fourth. And
Right.
that's like so different for me because it was always first, 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 right? And then my health wasn't that great. So I did it the other way around. I did it the upside down last year, and this year in December I have realized I only plan to do that for 6 years. Last year, mind you, I can tell you that this
Right.
year I'm going to do it exactly the same year. So 2 years I will be prioritizing me, myself, and I first.
Which is great because that kind of feeds into the whole escaping the 9 to 5. You've
Absolutely.
escaped that in theory, but when you have your own
Yeah,
business, I
in
feel
theory,
like you work 24/7, you know?
my brain doesn't
Um,
stop at all.
right. So there has to be that balance. And I know that people sometimes get turned off from entrepreneurship because of that. But I think there are so many more benefits that I just preach on here all the time about. That's fine. You work 24/7 for a bit, you build it, you grow it, and then you'll be able to reap the rewards and other things. What are some of the things that entrepreneurship brought into your life that you didn't think about that are positive? We'll talk about the negatives too, but what's something that made you think, "Oh, I didn't even think about this. This is awesome?"
I would say amazing friendships, actually,
That's a good
because
one.
yeah, and I totally didn't expect this because you think business, you think competitive, you think, oh, everybody for themselves. How are you going to get ahead and all that? And actually, that is totally not true. There's a lot of givers there. There's a lot of people that genuinely want to help. There's a lot of people that done business longer than you and they want to give back. I've met amazing mentors. I've met amazing friends, grew my network
Yep.
overall. And because it's a different mindset and it is a different lifestyle, I have never really experienced that at corporate world. Well, I
Right.
find, right? So yeah, that's not something I was planning for or even considered. And all of a sudden, it turns out there are people there that get you and they want to genuinely help you or just be friends and hang out or be your sounding board. That's been the
Yeah.
biggest discovery for me, I think. Yeah.
And it's funny because to some people it sounds like such a snowflake thing to say, and I'm totally on that snowflake side because if you don't understand what that means as a business owner, it means you don't really understand how businesses are run, right? So having those people in your life that you can rely on makes a huge, huge difference. Like I love my family and I love my friends and they support me in whichever way they can. But it's not the same as me being like, "Hey Kate, what the heck do I do with this client? I mean, have you ever encountered this?" Or I had somebody who was asking me about something that needed to be coded. Like my friends and family are not going to understand, or not, they're not going to understand the audacity I'm trying to convey here and just vent and just kind of get through things, right? So it's so important to have people that are going through the same thing as you. It's that whole thing of belonging, right? But they don't, at the beginning it's kind of lonely, right? Because until you make connections, you figure out that not everybody is as friendly and open, right? Not
Absolutely.
everybody
Yeah.
is in the business of helping each other out. There's a lot of gatekeeping that goes on in entrepreneurship, and that's fair if you think that, you know, um, your competition is everybody. In reality,
Yeah,
your competition should be yourself because I think there's enough to go around for everybody. It's how do you make your services better? How can
absolutely.
you, yeah, like surpass your goals yourself rather than putting that out there? So it's so important to have that sounding board, like you said, right? To have that support system.
Yeah,
It's amazing. So
so
with that being said, tell us about your specific industry and teach us about what are some of the things that you encounter. Like obviously, we said we were going to define a logo, a brand strategy, and all of that. I'm guessing that a lot of people come to you and they don't know what, in theory, what they're doing. So that's why they're coming to you, the professional, right?
yes, yes, absolutely. There's a lot of education that's needed for the industry still. There's big agencies, there's small design studios, there's the freelancers, there's just everybody can be a graphic designer, right? There's no barrier to entry, pretty much. You don't have to be certified. You don't have to even finish college these days to freelance, right? So
Right.
there's a lot of that grayness kind of the part of the industry, and some of it hurts with the reputation for everybody. Some of it helps with other things. It really depends. But yeah, would just logo. I specialize in logo and branding strategy, branding development for small businesses. It's kind of like everybody knows they need a logo or everybody wants a logo, but they don't necessarily know why. And I like to be a little bit controversial and actually say that you don't need a logo to start your business. I'm actually
Right.
going more and more against the current of saying you shouldn't even have a logo because by the time you
I
figure
love
out,
it.
right, and
I
it's
love it.
maybe I will get a lot of yes and no before this later on, but it's by the time you figure out what you want to do in your business and what your business actually is, 3 to 5 years will go by. And that's why I like to be a rebranding strategist, because that is the time that you know what you had either didn't work or that you understand that you need to invest for the future for your branding and marketing materials. As a startup, sure, you'll have a cute icon and, maybe you'll be made on Canva these days or you buy it on Fiverr and you call it a logo. Eh, I didn't have a logo for Sunrise Creative for first 3 years. I wasn't even Sunrise Creative for the first 3 years. So I've been running this for 11 years now, and I just say 8, right? It was Kate Rose
Yeah.
Designs, and that's how everybody starts. Start somewhere, but that didn't stop me. Just go and start doing business without a website, without a logo, without whatever thing in your mind that you need as a barrier to entry, and just do it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think people don't realize the amount of growth that happens in your first couple of years of
And really
business
fast. Yeah.
in really fast. And I think I kind of agree with you. Do you need a logo? Probably not, but it is a very controversial thing to say because that's usually the
Yeah.
first thing that people get really excited for,
Yeah.
especially visual people like me, right? So it's kind of like, okay, where do I get started? And people usually start with the logo. But now thinking back, I just had a webinar with one of the co-founders from Motion.io. It's like a CRM platform, really great. When we were talking about this growth chart that I had made, and it's nothing like super crazy. They're not my ideas. They're just what I've noticed that I've made so that I can help understand where the client is sitting to see what they need. But it's the build, grow, and scale model, except there's other things in there that I've noticed in the digital, industries, the service industries that tend to happen. So I use that kind of as a guiding point. And it's funny when you were talking about, just start working, just build your business that way. Don't have these hang-ups on logos and names and whatever. Just provide a good service and continue improving on your good service. That's literally the entire building stage. And a lot of people skip that stage, or what they do is they build A through C and then forget the rest of the alphabet because they're experiencing such massive growth in clients that they can't keep up. And it was kind of the same idea. Do you work on your business or in your business? Right? And they forget to work on their business for later, or they get hung up on, well, I have a logo. Great, but you don't have a website. So where are you directing people? Where are people seeing your logo? Just social media? Maybe that works for certain businesses, but it doesn't work for all businesses, right? So it's funny that you say that because in a way that is true because by the time you get to like the end of your growth stage, so you're like in your second stage, you're right. You need a rebrand because by then you would have refined your services, you would have figured out who your ideal clients were, and you would have figured out what you like and what you don't like. And if you are successful, you're able to start saying no to people, right?
Yes.
So you
And that's,
have to rebrand. At some point in that second stage, you literally have to rebrand. I totally agree.
yeah,
Totally
and
agree
that's
with that.
exactly where the branding strategy component comes in, right? Like, okay, you needed that first logo or the first name to make yourself feel more confident, and I get that 100%. But like you just said, you didn't position it to anybody, no target audience, no
Yeah.
persona, no ideal client, no dream client, nothing. So you are attracting a lot of business that you don't want to have eventually, but you're also leaving on the table clients that you really want to. And that noise that's happening with the people that you don't want prevents you from scaling back up even more. So can you actually afford not to have proper branding and branding strategy and website? So yeah, there's a lot to be said about it. There's a lot to be telling and educating and showing the value of branding. And it's, it's not like digital ads or Facebook ads. You can click and you see what works and it doesn't, and you have a conversion right away. It's a little bit more soft return on investment, but it's definitely very important.
I also have a very, I don't know if it's a strange opinion or not, because I haven't talked to a lot of people that run those ads, that strictly run those ads, but I will say to clients, don't bother until you've tested out your organic reach. Because if your organic reach isn't getting anybody, even if it's at lower numbers, why are you throwing money away? Because what happens is you're paying for the clicks, and then once they get to your website and it's not working for you, they just leave. So you're literally just paying for people to click, and there's no conversion there. There's no
I know
opportunity for a conversion, right?
Yeah, yeah, without proper brand positioning, and like you said, we have maybe 6, 7 seconds to attract somebody on the website or with logo and colors and brand. Like that's it for attention span online right now. So if you didn't grab it then, you didn't speak to those that you need to
Yeah.
speak. They just left and they went somewhere else.
And did you say 87 seconds?
That's about 6 seconds, six, seven
Oh,
seconds.
6 seconds. Oh my God.
And
I
it's,
thought it was 30 seconds. Now it's even lower. I'm having like an internal panic attack thinking about it.
well, too, like I need to rebrand. you know, yeah, it's very low. Like, yeah, bouncing rates or websites are shrinking even lower. My 6 seconds is probably I need to update, do new research. Maybe it's already less, right? It changes all the
Don't
time.
say that. Don't say that.
Yeah,
That's terrible. Maybe
absolutely.
that's why there's a lot of people that are trying to shift, saying that they don't need websites. And I respectfully still disagree because without a website, I feel like you're solely relying on all of these algorithms for social media to kind of do their thing. And if you're not somebody who is tech inclined in that way, I mean, I kind of understand them. I do research and understand them, but I don't know how they're built. But I always have a home base. I always have somewhere to send people to. I always have an opportunity to collect information through it. I have an opportunity to display myself in the way that I want to display myself. It's not, it, I feel like a lot of people with their businesses are solely relying on social media, and like, I
Well,
panic.
yeah,
I
that
panic. I'm
is
like, what happens to these platforms? Remember when Vine was a thing and then all of a sudden Vine was gone?
well,
Right?
that's exactly it. With your website, well, hopefully, if you purchase your own hosting and domain and you're controlling everything, you own it. That is
Yeah.
not going to disappear. Well, how much hacking did we have in the last couple of years on social media? And I had so many clients lose Instagram accounts of thousands and thousands of followers, and it's gone. It's over. Definitely not a good
Yeah.
strategy. You need to have a website. You need to have your email marketing list. You need to have all that. Your website is your 24/7 brochure, and it's fairly cheap to have
Exactly.
actually as a brochure that's there all the
Yeah.
time, and people check it. People, if your website doesn't look well, so in other words, if you don't care to take care of your own business, why would I trust you to take care of my business? That is the mindset. That is how it goes. So
Right. Right.
Definitely. not-
Especially for people like us that help people show up online.
Yeah.
It's really important to at least um have that forward presence, right? And it's funny because until this year, I also invested in learning, right, about my business. Until this year, I also kind of put things on the back burner. And this year, I mean last year. Wow, I'm still in 2023. Uh, I kind of put things on the back burner, and I wasn't updating as much as I wanted to, and I wasn't. And as soon as I made those changes, my business grew, my
Yeah.
client list grew, my sales grew, and and I get it. At the beginning, people kind of still have that paycheck to paycheck mentality, but at some point you have to start getting help from somebody to help you manage that money and to allot resources for your development, or else you're never going to get out of that cycle, right? You're
Yeah. And those
technically back in your 9 to 5, right? So
absolutely. Yeah. It's
yeah.
and you know what? I need to follow my own advice. It's the same issue, right? My website is not fully done. It needs to be redeveloped. It's the last thing I want to do is do my own website after hours, right? Of course, it's always the
I
shoemaker
know.
problem.
I
Uh,
know.
at the
Same.
end
Yeah.
of the day, yeah, but at the end of the day, yes, you need to invest in yourself, and that's what has been, I think, my biggest learning curve in the last couple of years is to understand how important it is to invest in me and invest in my business, and that is seriously changing my mindset around the whole business and business growth and working more on the business, not in the business, like you're saying. Otherwise, it's just another 9 to 5 and it's not stable, right?
No, and I don't know about you, but I want to be doing this until I retire. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not sustainable if I don't feel like I'm getting what I need out of it, right? So I mean, there's always going to be perks. I can always make my own schedule, but that only goes so far if I'm not experiencing the growth that I want to experience in a way that is sustainable, where I'm not always on the clock 24/7, or I'm not,
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally.
You'll be able to. I find that faster I learn to delegate and the more I learn to let delegate and let go of control, the better my business is growing. That's hard because, like you said,
Totally.
it's money, it's
Oh yeah.
the pay, like, of course, but it seems to be working. So, yeah, that's a lot of advice that I get as
That is
well. So,
that's great to hear, right? It's great to hear that when we finally put in practice what we've learned or what we preach or whatever it is, that it's effective. So just going to take a quick second here for anybody that's just tuning in. You are listening to Negotiating Happiness, and we are live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network in the beautiful New Orleans. And we are also on Roku TV if you want to check out some of our other shows on the network. And I am here with Kate Ross from Sunrise Creative, and we're talking about anything from entrepreneurship, mental health, and brand strategy and websites. So if you are looking to start your own business, or if you are an entrepreneur, stay tuned. We have got a lot of golden nuggets here to uncover. We were just talking about how websites are absolutely still very important, and how maybe social media is not as stable as we think it is. Now, what are some of the things that you consistently see people doing that are DIYing their websites that you just want them to stop?
oh dear, where to start?
I know, right? Just give me like a succinct
Oh
list, please.
yes, websites are so hard. Um, Blurry images. That is
Yep.
just killing me. That is just killing me.
Bad quality. Yeah.
Bad quality images. Not optimized websites for mobile at all whatsoever. Over 50% of traffic is on mobile now, even 60 sometimes. So it really is even now with desktops. And no call to action. That is just all the time. No call to action. So I land on your page and I don't know what to do and I don't know where to go. So I exit. That's it.
Yeah.
6 seconds over,
I
game
see
over.
that actually all the time. I see that all the time too. I give this example sometimes. I had a discovery call where the website, you could tell it was professionally done. However, and we should probably expand on this topic because it's one of my in topics about the requirement of not only should you have a good website, you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing in terms of copywriting and copy because the copy matters, right? So they had a wonderful looking website. It was optimized, it was quick, it had great images. However, just looking at the front page and reading a couple of things, so that's way more than the 6 seconds that you're telling me that I would normally look at it. I had no idea what they did. And this was a discovery call. And I was trying to be very helpful to them. Like, I wasn't getting paid to do this. I just said, hey, I went on your website. I still have no idea what you do. Please don't take this the wrong way, but that needs to be fixed ASAP because that's why your roster of clients is sitting at zero, right? Like this is it's it's just common sense.
Absolutely.
She got really upset. Like she was not ready to hear that because I'm
Mhm.
assuming there was a significant investment in there, right? But
But
it's
yeah,
my job. It's
that
my
is,
job to point that out, right?
yes, that is what I see as well. And overall, most of the time, it's not too bad. But yes, I've seen examples of I've been here for 5 minutes now and I have no idea. Like when I audit websites, right? Because I do audit websites as well. And I'm like, and menus are disjointed and navigations are all over the place. And there's some e commerce, but not sure what you're selling because it's not what your services are. It's like all over the place. And then, yes, I totally agree with you there. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I just spent 5 minutes and yeah, I have no idea what we're doing here. So,
I had somebody else as well that I worked with previously. Wonderful. Again, these are all very wonderful, smart people with great business ideas. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just as a business owner, you have to tap into so many categories of things that you need to handle. It's not normal for you to be able to handle those on your own. That's why you go reach out to the right professionals. But again, I I had to stop and as she was talking, she was telling me that she sells stuff. I was like, wait, you sell stuff? Where? As I'm like frantically looking through her website, she's like, I didn't even think about that, and she took it really well. Like she was ready. She was at that point where we call problem aware and solution aware, right? Whereas some people are just problem aware or not aware at all. They're just like they're going in blind, right? So I do try to be gentle about it, but
wow.
it just straight to the point. It's like, oh, I didn't even know you sell something. You need to put something on the homepage. You need to have links. You need to have outgoing. You need to have inbound links. You need to, you need to do the whole thing, the whole exact thing, and then we can work on your back end, how that feeds into your back end. And it's funny because I talk to a lot of people like yourself that specialize in very specific things. I like that I have to be able to touch on all of those things to be able to make operations work, right?
Yes.
So I know like a little bit of everything, but having access to people like yourself is huge. So if you are a business owner, start networking. I don't care where, I don't care how. If you want to start with Facebook groups, do it. It's a little more time consuming, but start somewhere because knowing people like Kate and all of, I have so many great guests, like everybody that comes on is so specialized in what they do. It's amazing how much you can learn and you can help each other out too, right? Like it's wild to me that people don't stay away, you know? They just stay
Yeah.
away. Yeah. So I did take a quick look on your website and you have a freebie app. What's the freebie so that everybody, I'm going to paste the link in. I just want everybody to have access to it.
Yeah, we just actually developed it we worked on it for a little while last year. It was one of our biggest goals for the end of the year to actually start the year with something that we can give back, because just with that gratitude mindset and givers gain too. I've always done free website audits and free branding audits and all that, but I feel like we haven't been utilizing it nearly as much and people don't know. So I thought, okay, what if we make a booklet and we just make it available? So it is actually is your website ready for a makeover checklist? But actually, it is also good for branding. There are both components of it. Um, So gets you through all 6 steps of what we do and how we do it and what you need to think about when you're rebranding or repositioning or redeveloping your website. And hopefully that helps some people to do it themselves in a better way. If they still, need to do it themselves, can hire professionals, then hopefully that helps many, many more small businesses than we have a chance to talk to even because it's only so many hours in the day, right? So
You're preaching to the choir. uh, totally. Let me see here. I'm just going to share it. So, to anybody that's listening, um, I am sharing, I'm just about to put it up here. It is Kate's website. And when you go to sunrisecreative.ca, you can click on learn, I believe. And this is what you see. You'll get just put in your email and your name, and you can download this booklet and you can kind of, have a read, see how much you understand. And if you can do some things on your own, great. And if not, Kate is here to help you guys. Um, it's right
yeah,
here
you
to
can,
get the
yeah, right.
checklist. Yeah.
Right in the booklet, you can book a free audit with me anyway. So there's no money grab here. There's nothing like that going on. Um,
There you go.
so
So
it gives you
free.
specific call to actions here in the booklet too, and action steps and facts and tips and how to do it. So yeah, I'm hoping this is something that people need and that we can help more people that way.
Yeah, totally. And for anybody that's listening again, you can go to sunrisecreative.ca and then you can go, oh, there we go. I put
Yeah,
.com, didn't
that's
I?
like
Sunrise Creative.ca. No, no panic. It's here. Sunrisecreative.ca. And then you click on learn, and that's where you will go. I have the longer link here. I'm just pasting it in the comments for anybody that just wants to click on it. It's going to a few of our platforms here. But yeah, check out Kate on her website and her services. Is there any? Are there any upcoming projects that you're doing, or any of the services that you would like to highlight?
Well, mostly the free branding and website audits. I really want to give back more to the community this year. And I believe we're scheduled right now to do 5 of these audits a month. So helping 5 businesses pretty much for free to do that and help them out as much as we can during those half an hour free consultations. So 5 times 12, right? If we do 50, if we do 60 this year, that's a lot of businesses. They'll get some guidance.
That's
That's
amazing.
my goal right now for this year. Besides that, it's business as usual, websites, branding, rebranding, lots of exciting stuff coming up right now. So very, very
Yeah.
excited. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And you can also connect with Kate on Instagram if you wanted to get some of the links or to see what she's up to. So that is at Sunrise Creative CA on Instagram. But yeah, that's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about. So one, you want to give back to the community, which is amazing. We know that you've volunteered before with the Hamilton community, but obviously this I'm assuming this isn't just for local. It's anybody that wants to touch base with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And let's talk a bit about, let's touch on the whole mental health aspect because community is like really big part of it, right? So I'm a full believer of, yeah, it takes a village, but that village doesn't go away once you're an adult, or at least it shouldn't. You just need to nurture your village. So, and that definitely helps. I was reading about this statistic about how women tend to live longer than men, and I have a son, so I have the really special task to try and raise him to understand more than what previous generations have understood, right? Like that's just the role of a parent. And I really want to make him understand about you need support systems. You need to rely on your friends the way that, not the way that society or whatever, masculinity or whatever tells you, right, to do. So let's touch a bit on mental health. What kind of insights do you have on that as a busy entrepreneur?
Well, take care of it daily. Take
Yeah.
care of it daily. Honestly, that's where you start. I don't remember exact statistics, but entrepreneurs are much more prone to having anxiety and depression. I think it's over. It was some kind of a crazy number when I was researching. It's like 40% more likely to have it
Yeah.
than a person that's full time employed, maybe, right? Women
Yeah.
also more prone to sound like, oh, this is going great, right? Like, we're doomed here. But
Maybe this is one of those things that you didn't know that you got from entrepreneurship.
yes,
That's not a positive,
that
right?
is
Just a
probably right.
sprinkle of depression and anxiety for
More of
you.
this, yeah.
Sprinkle for you.
Absolutely. But you know what? I really believe we need to talk about it more. And that's why every interview I have, every opportunity I have like this, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about the challenges. Let's talk about daily lives and how it looks like. Because you read my bio and it's beautiful, right? How about we start writing the bios that we don't want people to see? How about we start talking about daily struggles? How about we start talking about the fact that sometimes, no, I do not want to show up at 10 in the morning to my office, let alone 9 or 8.
Yep.
Why we talk about it?
Yep.
Because social media, there is the success, there is the great photos that I have from my fantastic branding photographer, Brian, right? What,
Right.
how about we cut through it? Cut through
But
it.
that's exactly what I want to do.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what I want to do with this platform too. It's I
Yeah.
know I talk about all the really great things, but this is hard. This is just hard. I don't know
This
who
is hard every
you
day. And like
we
you said,
don't
there's
stumble
loneliness.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you
Yeah.
said, we are lonely as entrepreneurs to begin with. I don't have a team to talk to on a daily basis, at least not right now. Yes, I have some freelancers, but it's me and myself and I in my own head overthinking 24/7. And a lot of solopreneurs
Yep.
are like that,
Yep.
right? And it
Yep.
just keeps
Yep.
spinning. How about we talk about it? And yes, it is hard. It's hard every day. And no, I don't know, how much money I make in 2 months, three
Yeah.
months. Some people
Yeah.
don't know how it is in 2 weeks when you're starting up. How am I going to pay for rent? There's no better
Yeah.
motivation to sell than when you don't know how you pay for rent or a
Right.
mortgage.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like my mortgage doesn't care that I don't make the same amount of
Definitely.
money every month, right? Like my mortgage doesn't care, my bank doesn't care. It's true. It's true. And while I sometimes I have to mention like I speak from a place of privilege because I think I've had enough success that I'm able to take a vacation, I'm able to pay my bills. Is it hard sometimes? Yep, it's hard, I'm not going to lie. But it is a place of privilege where I was given an education, I was able to start up this on my own and I have the resources to continue to do this from my own home. I think that's a really big privilege. Um, but it doesn't come without hard work. It
No,
doesn't, nobody just gives it to
nobody gave
you.
it to you. Yeah, nobody gave it to you. Still work hard, even with all those, blessings that you had in the past. What you
Yeah.
call privilege, right? Or what your parents gave you the opportunity. It's the same here, right? I
Yeah.
mean, educated,
Yeah.
good family, good background, no problems really. Fantastic start, but still, you still need to make it on your own
I'm
and
I'm
do.
also a first generation immigrant, right? So I don't know if I remember telling you that. I came here when I was 12 as well. I had a better start in terms of I had time to acclimate, I had time to absorb more. So I wasn't quite an adult when I came, but still we still had struggles. We still
Yeah,
had like my parents worked all the time. My parents started at the bottom and worked their way up. Like it's that doesn't go well, it goes unnoticed to others. It doesn't go unnoticed to me. It doesn't go unnoticed to my family. And I'm hoping to pass on, obviously, you only hope to pass on the good things to your kids, right? But that's just not how life goes. So, while entrepreneurship is a really great opportunity, it's also a way to struggle sometimes. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, but you chose it. Of course, I chose it. But you also struggle in your employment. You also struggle with your superiors. Your job could just as easily disappear,
yeah, yeah, and
right?
especially nowadays in the market, the jobs just disappear. However, so I'm like, well,
Yeah,
why stress that way? Like, what are the odds that 10 clients will quit on me the same day as you get 2 weeks notice?
right,
Much less. I figure I've
right,
calculated what's the risk
right.
actually. work, and I have more control over how I grow this, what I do, and who I work with, and for how much money, right? So, yeah,
That's one of my panic scenarios. How did you know?
right. I
It's
know.
one of
Well,
the scenarios that goes through my
yeah,
head.
yeah, we could probably like that. But yes, you at least hope you have more control. I don't think you do, but at least your brain tells you that you do.
In
But
different
that's
ways. In
but that's
different
so
ways, right?
you have
Yeah.
the immigrant background just as I do, right? We've learned the
Yeah.
hard work. We've learned by to see it, right, and do and grow with it. And yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like yeah, helping other immigrants is high on my priority list too. There's a lot of people that come up to me in the chamber events or other women network events, and we connect differently because okay, we have an accent. Okay, we're not from here. This is never going to change because like I don't intentionally am going to go to language classes now and figure out how to pronounce
Right.
everything properly, right?
Right. I know. And
So yeah,
it's
so have it. So how can I
it's
help you,
this
right? Yes, you can
yeah.
reach out, call me, give me a call. It will be fine. Don't worry, you're already here. You'll be fine. And you know, it's a whole different connection. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But that's part of the mental health thing. It's part of the stress load. It's part of the how do I give back, but also keep myself afloat and not stretch myself thin, right? And we can be at different points in our lives where like I have a 3-year-old that runs around, so it's a different kind of stress. But I also hope at one point that I'm going to be able to give back more and be more involved with the community. That's one of my goals. It's just very difficult for me right now. And I do think about it sometimes about it, like, hey, maybe I should be doing more. And then if any of my
another
friends are
goal,
listening,
right?
they always tell me, no,
Exactly.
no, you're doing too much already. But in
Yeah.
my delusional brain, I'm just like, I'm not doing enough, you know?
I
So
know. And you're
that's
doing it
that's a
too.
real thing.
Giving back too and bringing on people that talk about these things, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I balance is a hard thing. I give too much, according to some as well, and then again I'm too tired and burned out, and I have to scale back and do it all again. Like, yes,
According
there is.
to your business coach, maybe?
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that stretch. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. It makes sense. We have here a couple minutes left, and I wanted to talk about something happy. The whole thing about negotiating happiness in this platform. It's like we talk about all the things that we trade to be able to have this lifestyle, or this job, or this work, or company, or however you want to look at it, whether you're a CEO or a freelancer, right? Like whatever you want to look at it. What are the things that make you happy, right? So for me, it would be travel. For somebody else, it could be and go to the gym, and that's just not me. So tell me what makes you happy.
Travel definitely is one of those big things. I really missed it in the last few years. I'm just getting back to exploring more things that I could do, places that I could go. Dogs make me happy. I love dogs. I love,
Yeah.
going out, playing with them, spending the time, hanging out with friends. Live concerts make me happy. When that was taken
That's
away during
cool.
pandemic, I took it so much for granted for so many years. I was like,
Yeah.
no way. Now I have to go every time I see somebody. I just have to go, right? Lots of
Right.
things.
Right.
Art makes me happy. Painting makes me happy. I finally got back to painting last year.
That's amazing. I still
And
haven't. That's amazing. I love painting too, and I still haven't.
it's,
You have to be
yeah,
at a certain like zen like mind, you know what I mean, to get back to it.
yeah. I had a break for about 6 years, and I finally made it a goal last year. No, this ends now. Doesn't matter actually how I feel and what mind. I just need to
Oh,
start
okay.
doing it again to overcome that. And
Yeah.
it's been a very freeing experience, and I'm nurturing it now. And yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
you work through a lot of stuff when you paint,
Yeah.
emotions
Yes.
and whatnot, and I just it's
Yes.
part of my mindful practice, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Then and
I
I make
can
it
get
part of
lost in
my
it.
children. Yes, you get
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
It is the only
Yeah.
time now that I've realized that I don't know how much time has passed when I'm painting, which is so amazing. I'm such an overthinker, as you
Right?
know. And all of a
Right.
sudden, 2 hours went by and I wasn't worried about this or that, or planning this or that, or overthinking this or that. So, yes, it's. Training makes me
That's
happy.
amazing. And I say this all the time. I came from my corporate life. We were in a law firm, so every 6 minutes or point one of an hour. That's how you bill, right?
Mm, yeah.
So because that's how I was conditioned to look at time, in I'm always like on a clock. And when I started working for myself, I started billing hourly. I'm 90% away from that model now, but and it's crazy how much it affects you mentally. So when you do something like that where you get lost in it and lost for time, you're like, oh my God, what planet am I on? What day is it? You feel so, but it feels nice. It feels nice that you didn't have to justify the point six of an hour that you spent on this or whatever the case may be. That's amazing. And where do you want to travel next?
Um, hmm. Well, I'm hoping to visit my cousin in Florida actually, so I'll be coming down south soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, Lots of plans. I would love to go to Peru. That is a huge bucket list item for me, almost as big
Same.
as Portugal.
Same.
Maybe we can plan
I
something together.
Yeah, I have Peruvian friends. So like I've got
Yeah,
an in
there
that
you
I've
go.
known for many, many years. So I'm always like, when are you guys going again? But they all have kids now too, so it's really hard. But they do go for like their family events and whatnot. But that is definitely on my, I mean, who doesn't want to go on the Inca Trail? Come on, right?
Right? I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, those are really large bucket plans. But then um, more local too. I haven't been in BC yet. Vancouver. I'd like to see Vancouver. I'd like to see Seattle. Nova
Yeah.
Scotia would be lovely. So there's lots to do. I feel like I slacked in the last few years. I need to get back out there and start planning.
Yeah. I did a whole episode actually on the platform about how to plan your own trip, and it might seem easy, but I did it the Adriana way. The like, let's find good and reasonable because we can't have one without the other, right? But
Yeah.
I did a whole thing. There's a spreadsheet involved. There's
No,
there's hacks. There's like do everything on incognito mode. Try and do it on a Tuesday or a Saturday. That kind of thing, right?
yeah,
So
those are
I
to do.
I love
I love.
it. I actually spent just a bit on an insight of what happens on Sunday nights. I wish it happened more often, but it doesn't. I I spent like 4 hours with my friend on Zoom because we couldn't meet up, and my kid was running in the background with my parents, just screaming and destroying things. So I'm just setting the mood here, right? And I spent 4 hours booking our trip to Croatia and Romania. I wanted to go back. I am from Romania, so I wanted to go back and visit my grandma again. And my grandma's never met my son, so I said, let's do it. And my friend just wants to get out of the house. Same thing. She's in a very high stress level environment. She's in the legal industry, right? And she's just like, I just want to go. I just want to go. Let's do it. So we sat there and booked everything, and it was a lot of work, but at the end of it, I'm just like, here's my ADHD brain. I have a perfect itinerary ready to go. Right? It's like check, 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 check in my brain. But that's what makes me happy, right? Like thinking that I'm gonna do it, and then I went and did it. Now there's no way around it. It's happening.
I know. I know. Last
Yeah.
year's trip, I was planning in a rush, so it was not the way I would normally do it. Your style sounds more like my style. So yeah, I was like 2 weeks away from being in Portugal, and I still didn't have a hotel, so I was freaking out. It all worked
Yeah, no
out. Everything
kidding.
was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very
Yeah.
quick decision to go, actually, within weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I would love to see Slovenia next in Europe.
Me too. Me too.
Maybe
Yeah.
Bulgaria would be nice too, but Iceland is big on my bucket list. So I would love to see
Yeah. I'm
Iceland
just
only.
throwing this out there, but
No,
I was
it's
talking to
everywhere.
Jen. I know, it's like everywhere. I was just throwing this out there. I was talking to Jen. We're going to hope to run, if anybody that knows, we ran a retreat last year, and Kate was actually on the retreat.
How we met,
We're
yeah.
hoping to run it like internationally next year. So
Awesome.
hopefully we get to do it somewhere nice and warm if we do it in the spring. And then if we do one in the summer or fall, we'll do it somewhere. I mean, Europe is goals, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned, everyone. Just join us on our retreat, right?
Good.
No, we were having fun planning it, and just the fact that now I'm it's on my list on my calendar that I'm going away. I feel like it's such a, all right, let's do it. There's no
Yeah,
way around it now. It's happening.
that's good. That's good. I will enjoy it. It doesn't last long,
Thank
but
you.
memories are
No.
priceless.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to I'm away for about 2 weeks and a bit, which I haven't been away that long in one period during
Mhm.
my business, but I think I'm going to bring my iPad and do some check-ins and whatnot, so I won't be completely off grid. And it's really hard to be off grid these days, especially if you're going to Europe, right? Like
Yeah, no,
everything's
I always
connected
bring
these days.
my laptop, right, and plan to work maybe 2 3 hours a day or so. Just check in, move projects around, or to respond, do all that, do some
Yeah,
maintenance. But yeah, it's more I bring it on in case of emergency more than actually work. So yeah, you can
yeah,
totally do it. I've done it at least 3 times now, going to Europe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2.5.
yeah.
It just you
Last year
just
when I went to Mexico, I purposely did not though because I needed
yeah
that break and it was amazing. Not having it there, not worrying about it, it was amazing. It
yeah
was great.
yeah you
Yeah.
need that
So
freedom.
remember not to work on vacation, guys.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, no, it was really good, but just as a personal win, we're getting so we had to fragment our trip in order to stop in many places so that it's more reasonable. So we don't have any return flights, but our flight from Toronto, Canada to Split, Croatia was under 600 Canadian dollars.
No, I was looking at the prices the other day. I was tempted.
Let me tell you, they're tempting for sure.
Yeah, no, I
You,
saw the broker was like 1100 now, so with round trip. I was like, oh dear.
yeah, that's pretty
But
good round trip. Yeah, yeah,
round trip was 1100. Yeah, I was like, oh dear,
yeah,
this is. But I've been there.
yeah.
I don't want to go back there right now. So
To Croatia?
yeah, I've been twice. It's
Oh,
lovely.
okay.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any
Yeah,
recommendations?
Split is great. Absolutely. Dubrovnik is very enjoyable too. The
We're
whole
going there as well. We're taking a flight. It's like a 50-minute flight or something.
yeah. I
That
actually
cost us 60 Canadian dollars, by the way.
yeah. I
$60.
love
That is
cheap
it.
flights in Europe. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. That part is amazing. Yeah, I actually really enjoy Split more than Dubrovnik, which is very strange for many people, but somehow I just love the Split vibe more than
I
Dubrovnik
can
was
see it.
good. Yeah,
I can see it. We plan to be in Split longer than we are in Dubrovnik because it's on the beautiful coast, right? So I definitely can see that. Yeah.
you can get up to Serbia and see Mostar. It's definitely worth it, and it's really close. Actually, Bosnia is really nice. Yeah, but yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we'll have to look, but thank
yeah.
you so much, Kate. We're at the end here of our hour, and I was telling you before in the studio, it's gonna go by really fast. Did it go by really fast?
It's a bit. You're always right.
It did. It did, right? I've uh I've been doing it since I think about last year in April. So we're coming up on, almost a year, but it feels like a lot longer because I do this every week. So I'm like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. You know? We keep it pretty real around here, so that's definitely helpful. So thank you so much for coming on. We should definitely have you come on again. We can talk a little bit more in depth about anything that you've got going on, or what happens in the world of graphic and web design. I always love to know. So again, thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that is listening as well. If you didn't catch the whole thing, just remember that we are archived and streaming on most popular platforms. I typically have some SoundCloud link somewhere that you can even listen to in the car. And thank you to everyone that was live, that's going to be listening, to Kate, and a big thank you to the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network. And that is it for this week. Have a great one, Kate.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. Looking forward to another one.
Amazing. Bye, guys.
Bye.